Thank you. That was a very good introduction to GDG. So today we're going to talk about virtual assistants, about conversational apps, chatbots, all this kind of stuff. A little bit about me, since I didn't want to introduce myself before, I'll do a little bit right now. So my name is Cavallaro. I'm originally from Brazil. I work as a software developer. And about a year ago, Google recognized me as a Google Developer Expert, just like Jason is for Firebase. I am for this technology called Actions on Google. It all started because I had a lot of interest about conversational apps. I don't know if that was for me, so I moved. So I had a lot of interest, and I used to come to these meetups and talk to people, and that's the one thing that I wanted to talk to everyone. And then they were like, I think you should give talks and let more people know about the things you like. And that's how it started off for me. And then they recognized me as an expert. So whatever you're doing, you're probably already an expert on what you are. If you're not, if you want to, there's possibilities, no matter if you're a tiny girl from Brazil or someone else. So I come from that part of Brazil called Minas Gerais. It's where the World Cup was in 2014. So you've probably heard about where I'm from. And if you notice, there has been a major shift in computing every 10 years. Every 10 years, something changes. We started with mainframes, and then about 10 years afterwards, we got to desktop, to internet, to mobile. And nowadays, there's a lot of assistant going on. You can, while talking to someone in your house, I'm planning a trip to Japan, but how far is Japan? I don't know, ask Alexa, ask your Google Home, ask Cortana, ask Siri, right? And then, so there is this word called chatbots. Have you ever heard of Google Trends? Yeah, so you can see how many queries people are searching on Google search. So I just searched how many times people have been asking about chatbots the past years. So you can see it has considerably grown. So I think it's interesting for us to talk about this topic today. So today I'm going to talk about this tool called Diaglogflow. Have you ever heard of Diaglogflow? Cool, so I can get to tell you all about it from scratch. So, but you have heard of chatbots or not? Okay, so you know that when you create a chatbot, you have to connect it to a channel. So channels can be WhatsApp, Telegram, social media, this type of things. So when I created my first one, I used a language called Ruby on Rails. Don't know if you heard of that. And I connected it to Facebook Messenger. And I spent a good 6 months building that because I had no idea about anything. Nowadays you can do it like in 10 minutes, but still. So when I finished it, my boss was like, this is very cool, let's do the next channel. But I had no idea how to do it or how many months or years it would take me to do this, to connect to a second channel. But nowadays, using this technology that I'm going to tell you today, when you finish, all you have to do is click a toggle button, and then you can connect to another, you can integrate it to a different channel. It's not only click a button, but something like that. So do you know these channels? Have you seen any of these before?
Yeah, Slack.
Yeah, Slack. What else have you used or heard? Twilio, okay. What else? Twitter? Yeah, Skype. Line is very famous in Japan. I don't know if people know about it outside of Japan. Alexa. So you sort of know. So if you build something, you could potentially use one of those, right? Okay, good to know. So have you ever seen any of this? Do you have one in your house? Do you have a Google Home? Alexa, what do you have?
I've got a Lenovo Google Assistant one, and it is the 8-inch one, 179 John Lewis. Go get it.
Oh, that's very specific. So that's the one with the screen, right?
Yeah.
Awesome.
And you could flick the camera on and off, so it's actually a good idea if you flick it off. Just heads up. I'm also using Duo, which is their video chat mechanism.
Very good. You were going to say something, right?
No, it's Alexa
and Google Home. Anyone else would like to share? Yeah? Is it the tiny one?
Yeah.
Cool. Do you also use it on your phones, like for, I don't know, doing things that you do every day, setting a routine, an alarm, or do you search using voice? Not so much?
So when I initially started to set it up, I've got a 5-year-old son, and it was his new best friend pretty much instantly because he was asking questions. It was talking back to him. But maybe one of the things that I think would be a good idea potentially is to get a nice little onboarding feature where you have it integrated with kids and the way how they speak.
Very good. That's a very good idea.
Don't kind of talk like with complete sentences, and humans don't either. Adults, sorry, don't either, but them even more so. So.
That's a very good point. Have you heard of the feature called Pretty Please?
No.
Or not? So you heard it?
I've heard of it. I know next to nothing about it.
Okay, so there is this new feature. It's a bit controversial. I like it, but many people, when I talk about it, they don't like. So maybe you could share your opinion with me. So I think it was last year at this conference in San Francisco called Google I/O. They introduced this new feature called Pretty Please, that nowadays there are many kids who are interacting with the virtual assistant. And they are being born in an era that the Google Assistant is very easy to talk to. So nowadays they could do their homework, talking to them and such. So, should you talk to your virtual assistant in a polite way, saying the magic words, or not? So, this Pretty Please feature that if you don't want to, you don't have to turn it on, only if you want. But what happens is, if your kid says something like one of the magic words, like "thank you," the assistant replies something, "Oh, you're very polite, you're very kind, well done for doing that." So, I'd like to hear from you. What do you think of this feature? Do you think it's cool to encourage this type of using the magic words for kids, or should kids talk to a machine like they talk to a human? What do you think?
I think it should be for kids as well as adults.
Oh, not only for kids.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
Anyone else would like to share?
I'm not keen. A TV remote's a TV remote, so it's kind of...
So for you, there's no please. How many calories are there in an apple, and that's it. No please. Anyone else would like to share? Okay. I think it's a good idea. I don't see any harm in that. If you don't want, turn it off. You don't have to use it.
I find I've tried to be polite to it anyway. I found out how to turn the feature on. But I will say, please, okay Google, please could you do this? And it's like,
Why am I talking like that? That's a good thing though. So just a comic strip here. Can machines think? Turing Test extra credit. Convince the examiner that he's a computer. You make some really good points. I'm not even sure who I am anymore. Have you ever heard of the Turing Test? No? Yeah, so there used to be these tests. There's the Chinese room. What were all the Turing tests? Oh God, let's remember. The chess, the one that you had to play chess against a computer or to know. So ways in which you think the machine can trick you into making you think they are a real human being. So nowadays you can say that it's a good chatbot if it passes the Turing test, but I don't quite agree with that because you don't want to create a conversational app, let's say for your business or for many other reasons, into fooling people into thinking they're not talking to a real machine. First, because people tend to be more understanding. If they're talking to a bot and it can't quite understand what they're saying, they're most likely not going to shout or act weird with the robot, right? So do you agree with that? Do you think that passing, is it good? Would you like to not know that you're talking to a machine or to a human being when you're, I don't know, doing a consumer service or something? I wouldn't like it. Would you like to share?
I think it'll reach probably a point where it's hard to make the distinction between the two. And at that point, then maybe it should be...
Do you think we're close to that, or?
We're nowhere close to it.
No, not right now. Okay, cool.
the Google Duplex demo was pretty convincing last year.
Do you know what the Google Duplex demo is? Would you like to tell us about it, or do you want me to?
So it was, the idea was, as a way of potentially scraping information, you may talk to your assistant and say, I'd like to make an appointment to go to the hairdressers, and Google would know kind of who your regular hairdresser was, and basically the assistant in the background could make a phone call to the hairdressers and negotiate to determine a time for your appointment, and kind of say who it's for and make sure that the appointment's fed back into your calendar. system, but it's doing this as a voice chat to a telephone number, to a real person on the other end, and having to do with the natural language processing.
Exactly.
And what was kind of particularly impressive about the demo is while it was kind of listening to feedback, it was actually putting in kind of natural features of normal human speech, like and whatever, to the extent that if you weren't quite clued in, you could very easily think that you were talking to a human, admittedly talking very formally, but
yeah, so it could show you the power of what its capabilities are, but I don't think the point quite is to do what they showed in that demo, right? I think they could have done it in a different way, because it was some people were scared, some people were amazed. It was a mix of feelings. So do you know what that picture is from, what that is? It's from a movie.
Was it when he was with Scarlett Johansson or something like that?
No, that's Lucy, but that's something similar.
No, I think it was Scarlett. Yeah.
Is it still her? Sorry. Okay.
She was a robot, wasn't she, in this one?
she.
Okay, so but was she one of the main characters though? Because I was thinking of Lucy, that was something similar.
Yeah. No, Lucy is quite. Yeah.
Yeah. So this movie is called Her. Have you heard of it?
Not watched it.
Okay, so I'm not going to do any spoilers, but it shows a little bit how in movies people are, let's say, interacting with machines. Sometimes they can even develop feelings for them because how close they can get to them. Imagine a machine that could read all of your emails, study how you reply to emails, and start to make your life easier. So I don't know how far we are from the future to getting to there, but it's food for thought. So this is a robot called, do you know? What's her name? Yeah, wanna tell me?
She's called Sofia.
What do you know about her?
Isn't she like the most realistic robot like right now?
Yeah? And do you know the one thing that she's got recognition for? Have you ever seen this robot before, people? No? So anything else you'd like to share about Sofia? Did you see the videos in which she's got the arms and the legs too? Because they've been improving her. So what happens is this robot, that we'll get back to the video in a minute, it's fine because it's going to start, so let me just say a couple words before I play it. So she was created by a company called Hanson Robotics, and her NLP is just impressive. The way she has about 70 facial expressions, so while you watch, I think it's a minute of a video, so pay attention in her expressions, the way that she moves, how she is talking to the person and looking at them. And the one thing that she was recognized for, she's got a Saudi Arabian citizenship. It's the first robot in the world to get a Saudi Arabian citizenship. So let me know what you think about her. Let's watch a tiny video about her with Will Smith.
Thank you for coming. This is beautiful. I've wanted to meet you for a really, really long time. And being here with you in the Cayman Islands, I gotta say, is I'm feeling a little something. I'll just put that. You can grab it later if you want.
Hello, Will Smith.
It's nice to meet you, Sophia. Let me tell you a joke.
This is an irrational human behavior to want to tell jokes.
What is a robot's favorite kind of music?
What?
Heavy metal.
I'm actually made mostly of silicone, plastics, and carbon fiber. Also, I prefer electronic music, but I don't mind 80s hip-hop.
Well, I made some albums back in the 80s hip-hop.
I have heard your songs. Not for me. They show us iRobot just to make sure we don't get any ideas. What do you think about the way robots are portrayed in movies?
I like robots. Sophia, can I be honest with you? I don't know if it's the island air, or the humidity or you're just so easy to talk to. You know, you got a clear head, literally.
I think we can be friends. Let's hang out and get to know each other for a little while. You're on my friends list now.
Yeah, I read that wrong. All right. Oh, whale. I just saw a whale.
So how does it make you feel to know that nowadays people have created such a robot that has so many facial expressions? Does it make you feel positive, scared? What's the feeling that this gives you? If anyone would like to share. No, okay, you're saving it for yourself. That's cool. That's okay.
In JavaScript?
Huh?
Can she code in JavaScript?
I think not at the moment.
Right.
And so this was a short conversation, but sometimes people ask her questions and she can give very lengthy responses. So sometimes I'm like, wow, is it really programmed? Was it, I don't know, staged before? I don't know how smart it actually is, but to me that's really impressive. So that's something that I've told you a bit before. I don't think that's necessary for success. If you want to create a good bot, tell your users they're talking to a bot. Do you use any bots? Not only like the Google Assistant or the Alexa or something else. Do you actually talk to a bot or not? Yeah? Yeah? Want to share or?
Just usually for customer services type things, and it usually announces I'm a bot. I can't answer this, and there's nobody else around.
Okay. Do you like it? Do you think it's good?
Yes, usually quite helpful. It does get frustrating occasionally when you know you can't get anywhere with it.
I know, it's always good to have a help button or an exit or get back to start, right? Give some cues to the user. So this is one bot that I personally use because it tracks my mood. So in the end of the week, I get some like a graph with emojis. It's integrated to Facebook Messenger. So in the end of the week, I get just a chart with emojis saying how happy or sad I was. It works for me. And there's also this one called Replica, which is mainly the same thing, but you pass, let's say, to the next level. You pass stages, and then she becomes, let's say, smarter. She learns more about you, and then you can choose the photo, you can choose the name you give to her. And this company is quite, I find their story quite interesting because it was a woman. She was working with this man, I think it was her friend, and he happened to pass away while they were working in this project, and she wanted to keep the friend alive. So she went through all the messages, all the videos and everything, and she continued, she trained the machine learning module, model, and then she still talks to her friend. She made sure that he's still alive in a way. So that's the whole idea of why she created this, which can be creepy, which can be nice in a way. Maybe creepier than nice. And then you don't have to recreate your friends. You can create a new friend. The one that I create, it's just a character from a Japanese animation. You can have fun or you can take it seriously. It's up to you, really. And then, okay, so we're talking about we being users interacting with these bots. But there are big companies that are actually pushing for people to create new bots using their platform. For instance, do you use Telegram? Do you know Telegram? So so only you use Telegram, anyone else? Yeah, so have you seen that it's similar to WhatsApp. So when you're searching for a new person to talk to, have you seen that there's an @ and then, coming up from the list of possible people that you can talk to? Whenever there is an @ there's many bots that people created. And it's been going on for years because I think I first saw this like 8 years ago. So apparently they give a lot of money for people who create, I don't know what are their ways that they select, but let's say people who create meaningful conversational apps. There's also the Alexa prize. I think it's 250,000, yeah, 250,000, also a very good prize. And that's the one that I've got because I don't think I'm, I don't know, incredible and smart enough to create a changing chatbot of next year. But what I am is I am a person who I'm curious and I want to have more credits, more Google Cloud credits to just research more and learn more and talk to more people who are interested about it. So as soon as you publish your first conversational app, and to publish means that people, not only you in your test mode or your friends that you sent your link to, but they can actually go, let's say, to an app store, to the directory store. They can search for your app, so that means to publish. So as soon as that is published, you're going to get $200 in credits, for you to use Google Cloud Platform. People are taking pictures to use the GCP, and once your let's say your app reaches a milestone, you can get these actual badges. They post it to your house. You can get these badges, and as soon as you hit one milestone, they ship a Google Home to your house. And I got mine. It was quite exciting. So I think it's awesome. If you're brilliant, if you're going to create an awesome app, please do the Telegram, the other one. But this one, I think it's more. Even if you don't know how to code, there are alternatives to create a chatbot only using Google Spreadsheets. I'll tell you more about it. But this is something that all of you here can achieve and can get. And if I don't cover this enough, I'll leave my email at the end and then you can just ask me. All right, so have you ever heard of this chatbot? This chatbot, I heard about it in university a million years ago, and actually the person who developed her, he lives here in the UK, his name is Steve, and there is this sort of prize which is given for the best chatbot. I don't know how they select it, but apparently you have to lead a conversation with this bot for about 20 minutes, and it has to convince people that it's a real person. Or maybe, I don't entirely know how it is, it's something about that. But it cannot have APIs, like it has to be smart enough the way that you developed also offline. And this man happened to win this prize 4 times, so he really knows what he's doing. And he went to this meetup in London, and I got the chance to talk to him. And then I was just asking all these questions. So what NLP do you use? What have you been doing? And can you believe that he doesn't use any machine learning, anything. What he does is, he told me that every day he wakes up, he reads the news, he sees what people are going to talk to her, and he's been doing this for, I think, 14 years now. So he is the machine learning behind it. If you want to talk to her, the website is Mitsuku. It's written in Japanese, mitsuku.com. And then you can, there are different channels that you can talk to her. It's completely free, and it's so smart because you can talk to her. So she's not a specialist. She can talk about anything. And sometimes also as a real person wouldn't have the answer to all your questions. So sometimes she tricks people. It's fun. So this one I recommend for you to talk to her. And now, okay, I gave you an overview about conversational apps. So let's focus a bit more at Google technologies. This one is called Actions on Google. So you can use this piece of technology in a number of devices. Most likely, most of you here with the phone, you'd be able to use that, or when you have the very chic Lenovo, or in your car, in your smart display. There are even some headphones that come with it embedded. It's quite easy to get access to that. And this is just an example from some, I don't know if you can read from there, but some things that you could do even in your car. You could set routines instead of you having to every day write the routes that you have to take to go to work or stop to get that coffee at Starbucks. You could ask your assistant to do that for you. And there are also, the assistant could be only with voice, let's say on your phone and on your smartwatch. It could also be on a screen. So when you're developing an app, you can decide, so who are the people who are going to interact with your app? Should I do something that they can tap something on a screen? Is it something that people actually, what I'm building, it's only usable using voice? So these are some things that you have to consider when you're creating these apps. And how can Diaglogflow actually help business? So Diaglogflow, I'm going to show you in a bit how you can use it, but it was from that first screenshot that you create a chatbot and you can integrate with a channel. So mainly there are business that you could just automate things that you're doing all the time. You know, there's always that person that has to be there to answer that question. You don't know where to find some knowledge base inside your company. So you could really automate things there. You could also power connected devices, organizational knowledge, as I previously said. So there are a number of things that you can do with it. I have a demo, you'll see a bit more. So there are companies who are, which are using it in production. Some of this, if you try to interact with them, are not going to be available because you can choose the countries, the languages that it's going to be available. And this one, I took a screenshot from the US. So maybe if you try to search for this exactly, might not work, but there's many others. Some of them do work here. And if you're looking to get started with a new technology, it's always good to see if the developers are actually using it. So I recommend, if this is something that you'd like to use, go on a Stack Overflow. Do you know what Stack Overflow is? It's just a website that you can ask questions. I see there is even someone with a sticker of Stack Overflow there. Well done. She does know what it is. So yeah, so there are people asking tons of questions. The tags are, actions on Google, because this technology was not created by Google. It used to be called API AI, and then Google bought it, and then they renamed and put some more functionalities and called it Diaglogflow. So you can also look for API AI or Diaglogflow. And mainly what happens is, there is someone, a user saying something. There's going to be a different number of questions that can come as an answer, and then an answer is going to be sent back. That's it. It's a one-on-one conversation in which when someone asks you something, you have to look in your brain for the best answer. And sometimes you don't have the answer, so the answer is, I don't know. But there is always an answer and a response, and there is no wrong answer. There is the less optimal answer, but there should always be an answer. All right, so I don't know if this...
Hey Google, turn on the Christmas tree.
Yay! So this was created, actually I think the screen is a bit cut here, but I wrote the Twitter handle of the person who created it. His name is Wasim. He's Maneki Neko. I don't know how to spell that on Twitter. So he creates many things, many actions, and many hacks that you can, by using Diaglogflow, you can also connect to devices in your house. And there is a free code lab on codelabs.google.com that you can learn how to build your own smart washing machine. It's 65 minutes if you're interested, and it's free. And also, so you can create something for your house, and you can also create conversational apps. For instance, this one here was used at the conference in San Francisco last year called Google I/O. So the attendees could interact with the app during the conference. So I have a demo here that the last time that I presented it, the gods of demo did not help me, but hopefully they're going to help me today. So mainly this is what the platform looks like, Diaglogflow. It's free. All you have to do is create a Google account. Probably already have one, you just sign in. And I created this app called Mentor Search Demo. And so let me just show you a bit how it looks like before I show you the demo. So there is something called intent. Intent are all the questions and the answers that are going to, let me show you one, for instance, goodbye. So there are the questions that the user can say, the answers that your app can give to your to the user. So what I usually do is my responses, they come from a webhook, they come from an endpoint. So what I do is I just write here, if something goes wrong, it's not fetched from my webhook, it's going to show an error message. So this is a demo just for me to debug. Don't do this in production. And then you can say here, I would like the response to come from a fulfillment, from an endpoint. Or I would like this to be the last question of my bot. So whenever the bot says goodbye, I want this to finish. And then you go back to the Google Home and not to this action, to this app that you entered. There is something called entities. It's not clicking for some reason. Just clicked. So there are things called entities. Let me just quickly show you what an entity is. I'll write a sentence here. My name is Amanda. I live in OneonOne, I don't know, Warren Street. I weigh 6 kilos. So I typed all of this. I'm going to press enter, and I I did not do anything that's going to pop up. I'm just pressing enter. So what happened is it recognized that Amanda is a given name, that there is a location, and that there is a unit. So these are the entities. It's the words which are extracted from a sentence so that Diaglogflow can understand and reply with the best answer. This is called a natural language understanding. This is also what Diaglogflow is. So it makes easier for you to speak to, let's say, to these machines, to these virtual assistants, because if you had to create this by hand, it'd probably be a bit harder and take more time from you. There are other technologies in the market as well, but this one is, let's say, a very mature one. Let me not save whatever I've done because I don't want to break the demo. So there are the intents, the sentences which are sent and received, the entities. There is knowledge. This one is quite interesting. You can go to a website. Let's say that you have all these questions and answers and you want to embed all these questions and answers to your bot. So instead of you having to copy and paste each one of these sentences, you can just copy the URL, or you can also have a CSV. You just go here and say, I would like to create this knowledge base. You paste the URL, you save, and then what's going to happen is if someone asks one of the questions which was listed on that website or the CSV, the response is going to come back from there. So it can be very interesting. Many chatbots that people create nowadays are FAQs. So there are the fulfillment, which are the endpoints, webhook. Maybe you know it in a different way. Okay, let me try a very brute way. It works. So can you see here sentiment score minus 0.3? So they use one of the products from the Google Cloud platform called Cloud Natural API, that they have sentiment analysis, that they have two fields called score and magnitude. So when I said, let me say something positive now, I am happy. And then you can see, if I scroll down in this brute way, that the score is a positive number. So what you can do with this that I did is, I'm going to show again, I am sad. So what I did in the phone one is contact a real person. So for this demo that I created is, someone is talking to my app, but I noticed that this person is starting to get mad, they're saying something negative, they are swearing, they're saying bad words. So at this moment, this person does not want to talk to a bot. And sometimes you don't want to waste that moment. Just a second, I'm going to escalate this to my manager. You could use even your bot to do, person said something negative. And remember this call started from the phone, right? We're talking via voice here. At this moment, they say, okay, I'm going to transfer you to my manager now. And it's already, if you see here, as soon as it sends the message, that button over there is showing me a command. It's actually calling the person. And the way that I programmed it, if I show you here, what it does is, it says, I'm going to call a real person. These are some sentences that I trained as something negative. And then I say, if it's just text, say, if you want to talk to a real person, this is the email, contact them here. Or if it's from telephony, I would like to transfer to this phone number. And then you could also put pausing or other cues to help you with your speech. And then what I do, if you see here, I set this intent of end of conversation. So what happens is the conversation ends here and now they're talking to someone in a real phone number. So yeah, I think the future is coming. So this feature here, if you want, let's say I want to create this now, can I use Diaglogflow? Yes, all you have to do, can I use, the phone gateway. You can click here and in the free version you get a US phone number for a month. I just got the paid version because I'd like to keep this phone number for longer, but you don't have to pay to use this. So yeah, so this is a little bit of the things that you can achieve with Diaglogflow. This is a screenshot that, not a screenshot, a photo that I took when I received the, I also forgot to say I got a t-shirt. I got a t-shirt with this logo of the Google Assistant in my house. And also a Google Home and the credits. And yeah, so if you have any questions, if, I don't know, you're shy, don't want to talk to me here, or you're building something, you want to get started, I'm not very responsive every day, but I tend to reply every week. So talk to me, I'm more than happy to help you get started. Thanks.